بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I would like to welcome you to this video in which I will be explaining the UmmahNet ecosystem. Alhamdulillah, this is a project that we have been working on at RAISSE Foundation for the past 4 months. And Alhamdulillah, we do have some very lofty aims and goals. The primary aim of this ecosystem is to actually empower the revivers of Islamic civilization with two things: funding and resources. This is actually, from our observations and studies, we found that these are two big blockers for a lot of these ummatic projects. So the actual aim of this ecosystem is to help these individuals and projects. And what we're actually doing is we're going to create a parallel digital economy for Muslims in order to do that. But I must explicitly state that this is going to be a complementary system, not something to rival the current system. So that should be stated explicitly. And with that, inshallah, I will begin to explain the different components of this ecosystem. So I would like to begin by giving an overview of the entire ecosystem. So as you can see here, there are 8 components. The first of which is Vision 1453, and those that are familiar with the work of RAISSE Foundation may have heard of this initiative. So Vision 1453 is the strategic planning and grouping component of this ecosystem. So it basically sets the agenda, the strategic plan, and aligns the different projects into different groups, as I will explain. So then we have manuscripts as a component. So the physical asset backing the currency that we're going to be using within this ecosystem are actually manuscripts. So by manuscripts I mean handwritten documents, not typically historic documents. It doesn't have to be something 100 years old or 200 years old. These are more like new handwritten manuscripts. New knowledge, new information, new research, even poetry, anything that can be, any knowledge that can be explained in handwritten form. And that's actually the asset that will be backing the currency within this ecosystem. And I'll explain why we've chosen this in this video. Then we have thirdly the actual coin, the actual currency is called UMN. UMN stands for UmmahNet. So the UMN coins. We're mentioning here gold standard cryptocurrency backed by knowledge. So why is it a gold standard? It's because each coin within this ecosystem has the same value, which is 4.25 grams of gold or 1 dinar. So therefore it has a gold standard, right? How we achieve this, I will explain again in this video. Then we have fourthly a mesh network. And here it says Wi-Fi Halo enabled nodes. So the mesh network is the actual hardware and the physical infrastructure that makes this ecosystem work. So of course, in order to use this ecosystem, we're trying to separate ourselves from existing infrastructure. So we want to enable our users and Muslims in general to utilize our own infrastructure, or to set up our own infrastructure separate from the existing infrastructure. And by infrastructure I mean internet service providers. So you have 4G, 5G cell towers, broadband internet. So this will be separate from them. So what that means is if this will actually work without the internet. So the whole purpose of this ecosystem is something separate, and it functions without the internet. So it works completely offline. And there's a new technology by the name of Wi-Fi Halo, which allows extended range in terms of data transmission. And I will explain this as well. And of course, those who are familiar with mesh topology, I'll do a quick diagram here. So a mesh topology is one in which every node is able to connect with every other node. So node A, B, and C. Node A can connect with B and C. B can connect with A and C can connect with B and A. So this is a mesh topology for those who are not aware. And then fourthly, the fifth component is the Yuman blockchain. So the blockchain is the actual software behind this ecosystem, and those who are familiar with blockchain will know, the security advantages. It has this capability of being decentralized. So every node within the ecosystem will have its own copy of the blockchain. So imagine we have these three nodes again. So each one will have a ledger, or the data, you could say, um, uh, of this ecosystem, and this data will be transmitted throughout the ecosystem, and every node will have a copy of the ledger. I won't go into too much detail of what blockchain is. That's not the purpose of this video, but just to mention, this is what we're using for our software. And alhamdulillah, this software is maybe 50% developed so far. We do have an MVP. I won't be presenting that today. Maybe in a separate video I'll do that. So we do have an MVP at the moment with this blockchain software, and alhamdulillah, it is functioning. There are a few unique elements which I will maybe touch upon when I come to that component. Next, we have the Muslim Citizen app. So it's quite a broad application, and this is actually going to be hosted on the blockchain. So the way, when I mention app, some people might think of the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. This is separate from these app stores. You could consider the blockchain as our app store. So the Muslim Citizen app will actually be on our app store, which is the UMN blockchain. That's where it will reside, and that's where you can access it. Okay. So this app is actually three things. It's a social media platform. It's a project management application, and it's also a marketplace. So when I say social media platform, you can think of X, Twitter, Instagram, something along those lines. Then project management is something like Jira or Basecamp, or even Azure DevOps, those who are familiar with these platforms. And by marketplace, it could be like Amazon or Temu or something. So these are this application is a merger of the three. So it has a social element, it has a project management element, and it has a marketplace. And I will explain in depth, how this is part of this ecosystem, and this actually has a core role in this entire ecosystem, this specific application. And also to note that the blockchain will accept other applications. They're called dApps actually, so decentralized applications in the blockchain space. Whoever's familiar with the terminology will understand that. So this is actually a dApp, and we will also be having more dApps in the future, inshallah. This is the first. And then next we have Bak AI. So this is a large language model that we are developing. And it has a primary purpose within this ecosystem, which is to actually evaluate manuscripts. So actually, we're going to be training this AI or this model to understand what we consider as Muslims or as the Islamic civilization to be of value. So what do we consider to be valuable knowledge? This is really the key question that we're going to be training this model on. So, for example, when we submit a manuscript, we might scan it, take a picture, and upload it onto the large language model. The larger language model will be able to read the actual text and understand what it means. And if it will basically give us a scoring or grade in terms of how valuable this manuscript is according to our values and what we train it on. And what will happen is actually the AI will actually generate coins based on the evaluation. So, if, for example, imagine I submitted a 5-page research paper. I wrote it by hand on a manuscript. I submitted that. The AI will scan it and give it a grade. And based on the grade, it will convert. It will basically bring money into the economy. So it will basically produce more UMN coins, maybe 100, let's say. And a portion of that I will take as the author. So I might take 2 coins, and 98 coins will go into the repository. And this repository is where the funding comes for these projects, ummatic projects, the people that are actually trying to revive Islamic civilization. So this is really for them. So that pot of money, it's mainly for these projects to basically fund them. And I will touch upon within this presentation how this coin can be used within this ecosystem, even in the real world. So to buy your bread, to transact in a local setting, it can be done with this ecosystem, with the mesh network and the blockchain and everything. So inshallah, that is the aim of this. And finally, we have UKOP. So of course, to overlook this ecosystem, we need a governance body. So that's really what UKOP is. So they will be overlooking every component within this ecosystem and ensure, Sharia compliance, also compliance with the local laws. So really, that's the purpose of UKOP, and I will cover that on the final part of this presentation. So that was a quick overview of every component, and now I will go into detail for each component. So now I will begin to explain Vision 1453. So this is the first part of the UmmahNet ecosystem, the first component. So 1453, it may ring a bell for those who are aware of Islamic history. This is the year in the Hijri calendar in which the Ottomans entered Constantinople, now known as Istanbul. So RAISSE Foundation actually it was an initiative that began in Istanbul. So there's a group of us that met in Istanbul, and this is where it really began. And initially we called ourselves Vision 1453 as an organization. So what this is actually, so there's two elements here. So we have a 7-year strategic plan. Beginning in the year 1446, which we're currently in. We're just about to enter 1447. So as you can see here, we've listed a different theme for each year for the next 7 years, and this is subject to change. It's completely flexible, and it might adjust and develop over time. And another thing to note is it's not limited to 7 years as well. So this is this can be extended beyond 7 years. Which is likely to happen as well. So the second element is, as you can see, the 4 verticals and categories. So we have civilizations, sectors, confederacy, and pillars. So this is how we've grouped our different departments. So within each department we have categories, and we have projects within each category. So within the sectors vertical, we have, let's say, the media category. Within the media category, we have various projects, and we're going to be basically using this organization, this structure, as the strategic layer of this ecosystem. So when we fund projects using UMN coins within this ecosystem, the projects will be placed within these different categories. So if for example we have a media project, it will be assigned to the media sector category, and each vertical and each category has a lead. So there's one individual who's responsible for the success of that category or that vertical. So they'll be able to align the different projects that we are hosting or helping or assisting. So this will give us the ability to coordinate between these different projects, because actually we have so many different ummatic projects out there. Mashallah, they're all really good. They have their place. And the one thing we do have missing at the moment is this alignment. So we do lack a bit of alignment across the different sectors or categories. So this is one of the things we're trying to achieve here. So another thing we have is, I mentioned earlier, Bak AI. So Bak AI is actually, so I did mention it's a large language model, and it will be a chat interface as well. I'll explain that later. But one of the things we have here is, so we have the heads of department within each category. They'll be able to access this chat interface with Bak AI. And Bak AI will actually be gathering data within the Muslim Citizen app, which is the core user interface where people will be interacting with this entire ecosystem. So as we gather data on Bak AI, as it learns, as it grows, we'll be able to get some strategic insight into the different departments. So what are we doing good? What are we doing bad? Are we heading in the right direction? There's so many questions that we can ask the AI, and we can train it accordingly. So inshallah, this will give our heads of department a strategic advantage and the ability to further align the ummah according to the different departments. And finally, to mention, the different themes that we have each year. We're trying to also encourage each department to kind of, where applicable, to focus on a particular theme for the year. So inshallah, this year we're going to be focusing on Muslim unity. This is our theme for the year, and we encourage other organizations and initiatives to also follow this theme of Muslim unity. This is something we really need at the moment. So inshallah, this can be achieved um, by Allah's permission. And so that's Vision 1453 in a nutshell. And if you're interested to learn more about this specific project, you can check out the website. So raise.org, raise with the double S.org. And if you go to projects, you'll find Vision 1453, and you can find out more information there. In this part of the presentation, I will be explaining manuscripts and why we have chosen manuscripts to be the physical assets backing the Yuman coin. So we do believe that manuscripts are an item of value, the way that some people might consider gold to be valuable or oil. Manuscripts are actually a thing of value that increase in value over time. We also believe that genuine human thought will become more rare as time passes, especially as AI-generated content becomes more powerful. So a handwritten document in the future will become actually an item of rarity, and things that are rare have more value. Okay, so I think there's other reasons why we have chosen also manuscripts, because we want to revive seeking knowledge. We want to place education and research in high regard, because we believe that Islamic civilization it requires this theme of education and research for its revival. And historically, Islamic civilization has always been focused on education and research. So therefore, when you tie your currency to manuscripts and research and knowledge, then it encourages people to actually do research and poetry and studying. And once you encourage this, and once people actually get paid, as I will explain here, for doing research, this will actually stimulate your economy as well. And it will have many other ripple effects and benefits in society. So the way that this system will work is, firstly, an author will obviously do some research or write a poem or do any other handwritten content on a document. This document will go through a process. Firstly, so basically, Bak AI will evaluate this manuscript and give it a value. So once it's assigned a value, and the value, obviously, I will explain later how we train the AI to kind of derive value. But once the value has been assigned, then a set number of coins are produced from this manuscript, the value of this manuscript. And these coins are placed into a packet. So the total value of the manuscript is found within this packet of coins. So in this instance, you can see there's 12 coins. And 2 coins are given to the author, and the remaining coins are put into the repository, or the vault, as we call it. And this vault is where we fund other projects, and I will explain that later. But the physical manuscript is then stored safely in a library or museum, and this could be something that encourages other people to also do research and write more manuscripts. So if you store this in a library in public view, people can come and see this is valued at 12 gold coins, and it might encourage other people to also start writing manuscripts and do research and poetry, which is good for society, right? So this is really what we want to promote and encourage. So hence why we have chosen manuscripts. So what else to mention? Yeah, so there is another layer to the approval process. The UKOP, which is the governance layer of the ecosystem, also does have to approve the manuscript. So it does go through the AI to get the initial valuation, but then also UKOP will have a second look at the document, and there's other processes that we will probably have to follow in order to get it verified and then initially put into a library for public view. And also this is tied into the mining process on the blockchain. Whoever's familiar with the blockchain, the way that we mine coins is through this process, actually. So once new manuscripts are submitted and new coins are generated, this is how we mine the coins. So we have different criteria against which we evaluate the manuscripts. Here are a few that we've listed. For example, authenticity, spiritual value, economic value, societal value. And these things, of course, we're going to train the AI to understand what we consider to be like spiritual value. And of course, this is not an easy task, so we will need, scholars and researchers to come and to assist in the training of the AI. There's also an optional audio recording, so we do want to also, in addition to the physical manuscripts, we want to have a repository of audio recordings of these manuscripts, so the actual author could read the manuscript, and that could be part of the value, or of the coins. So you'll get additional coins for if you upload an audio recording. And finally, if someone does eventually collect all these coins that are within the packet, then they can redeem this physical manuscript from the library. And so there is a system to redeem the physical asset backing the currency. So that's another point to mention. So then that's basically the reason why we've chosen manuscripts. And inshallah, in the next video, I will be talking about UMN coins. Now I will talk about the UMN coin, and I will explain the various ways in which this coin can be earned and then spent. Some unique elements of this coin, firstly to note that each coin has the value of 4.25 grams of gold or 1 dinar. So that's a point to mention, which gives it the gold standard title, right? So this is why we're using gold standard within the name. Also to mention, it is a cryptocurrency. It's a digital currency, and it exists only on the UMN blockchain. It doesn't exist in any other blockchain anywhere. So this is something that we're using internally within our ecosystem and nowhere else. I've already mentioned that because it's tied to manuscripts and knowledge generation, there's an additional benefit here with using this coin, which is the promotion and rewarding the seeking of knowledge and dissemination of knowledge. So we actually reward these things, which is a big part of this ecosystem, right? So now I'll mention the various ways in which the coin can be earned. So as mentioned previously, the author of a manuscript can get a percentage of a packet of coins, and the remaining coins go into the vault where they are stored. And then as organizations join the Muslim Citizen app, which I will explain in the next video, I think, as these organizations join and add projects onto the app, they will be given coins at random, which is important. So it wouldn't be that they get these coins from an entire manuscript in one go. It could be there could be hundreds of manuscripts, and they get one coin from this manuscript, another coin from another one, another packet of of coins, etc. So they'll get a random selection of coins, and that will be given to them. So then once the organization has these coins, they're able to do two things. They can publish a course or a task. So a course, educational course, they could teach something. And if a user completes a course, they will earn the coin. So that's one way of earning coins. If they complete a task, then they can also earn coins. And there's also two other ways. So UKOP, as I mentioned, the governance layer of this ecosystem, they're able to give coins for two additional things. One is to host a node, which I'll explain what a node is in another slide related to the mesh network. So if a person or if a user hosts a node, they can earn some coins, and based on merit, we can also assign coins. By merit, also this could include people who are in need of coins, like it could be sadaqah or something. So people can apply for coins if they're in need of it, or you can recommend someone who's in need of assistance, and these coins can be given to them. So these are the different ways that these coins can be earned. And then once it's in circulation, they can transact. That's another way another user can earn the coin. So if this user earns coins through these means, then they can give it to someone else through a transaction. So then once you have the coins, amongst the users, they can go into circulations in two ways, and I'll explain. So the first way is through the actual marketplace on the Muslim Citizen app. So the Muslim Citizen app will have a marketplace. Here's a market, and within the marketplace, this is like an e-commerce platform. So within the e-commerce platform, you could have different categories, and users can come and purchase items in exchange for Yuman coins. So of course these will be organizations and shops on the platform. And so this is one of the ways to use the coin, so they can buy products and services from here. Also in the real world, they can have QR codes. Here's a random QR code. So this could be a shop owner. So inside of this shop, there is a QR code, and the user comes along and wants to buy some bread. So what they'll do is they'll get their phone and scan the QR code. And this is one way of making payment. So in order to do that, this phone must be connected to a node, UmmahNet node. So once you're connected to this node, you're able to spend these coins and access the ecosystem. That's how it works. So these are the two ways that the coin can be spent, and this is really how the coin goes into circulation within the ecosystem. And another thing to note is that the Muslim Citizen app will be the primary user interface through which you can access these coins and earn them, which is an important point to mention. So I think that's it for this video, and inshallah on the next video we will be talking about the mesh network. In this video I will be explaining the mesh network component of the UmmahNet ecosystem. So as you can see in this diagram, there's actually I'm trying to visualize two different communities. So this community could be, I don't know, in Malaysia, and this community could be in London, and they're connected by this specific node on each side, which has access to the internet. So not each node has access to the internet, but if it does have access to the internet, then it has the ability to communicate with the other nodes outside of the local community. It's an optional feature that a node can have. A node can also have another optional feature, which is it can be Bak AI enabled. So if you have a GPU, or if you have the hardware that is required to run the AI, then this can be part of the offering of that node. So for example, this node is it's a node that a user can go to submit a manuscript. So of course, as you know, the AI is used to evaluate manuscripts. So you can't actually, this user can't go to this node to evaluate the manuscript. They have to be connected to this specific node, or they can be connected to this node and communicate to this. So within this community, there's one node here that allows manuscripts to be evaluated. Of course, because it's in a mesh network, you're able to access this node from any other node. But there needs to be at least one that can evaluate manuscripts, and ideally one that is connected to the internet. Although if the internet is cut off, you still have a local mesh network, so it works offline. And also here I'm trying, in the blue, I'm trying to demonstrate a Wi-Fi Halo enabled node. So Wi-Fi Halo, as I mentioned previously, is a new technology. It basically extends the range of Wi-Fi to over 2 kilometers, I think, or more. I'll have to double check that. Sorry, I'll put it in the box below in the description, the exact range. But it is much greater the range compared to standard Wi-Fi that we have now. So this allows the mesh network to extend quite a bit. So this node can communicate with other nodes because of this this technology, Wi-Fi Halo. So what that means in the real world is the mesh network of a local community can be the size of a town, a small town, if you have Wi-Fi Halo. But using normal Wi-Fi routers, you wouldn't be able to reach that far of a distance. But with this technology, you can reach a further distance. So you can actually technically cover the entire radius of, let's say, London to be honest. But you would have to have, nodes in different locations. But you're able to communicate across the entirety of London, which is a really big city, using these nodes. So it's yet to be tested. So of course there will be a testing phase that we go through to test this and to see what communication issues we come across, and latency and everything else. So of course we're still going through that process and testing and trialing everything. So that's basically the mesh network. And as you can see, there can be multiple mesh networks. So there could be hundreds, and they can either work in isolation, or they can work. You can have global transactions. So if you wanted to spend Yuman coins, if this user here wanted to send some coins to this user from Malaysia to London, let's say, so they would connect to this node, and you're able to transact with people in other parts of the world using the internet. But if, for example, the internet was one day to be shut down or cut off, or there was some technical error, then you still have access to your coins. This user still has access to all of their coins. And even if they don't have the internet, they can still access their money and still have local transactions. So that's one of the key benefits of this mesh network topology. So then the hardware that you would need within each node, the minimal hardware is you'd need a computer or a laptop with the blockchain software installed. The hardware, it would have to have minimal requirements. We're still in the process of defining what those requirements are, but it would be it wouldn't be too high. So it would be your standard computer could host this software. And we're doing that on purpose so it's more readily available to the masses. The second item you would need is a router. So this is used to kind of send off signals to transmit and receive data. We're actually using Wi-Fi routers, and it could be Wi-Fi Halo enabled, as I mentioned previously, which allows the greater range. And if you wanted the AI capabilities, then you would need a GPU. Again, we're yet to define the exact GPU that you would need. So inshallah, we're still working on that. And yeah, anyone can start a node. So you simply have to download the UMN blockchain onto your machine. And inshallah, the software will be available on all major operating systems. We're trying to, we might explore actually hardware as well. So actually the UMN blockchain could be available on a piece of hardware, so you wouldn't have to install it onto your laptop or computer. You can maybe purchase an actual physical device which has the the Wi-Fi Halo and potentially the AI capabilities GPU plugged in. So you'd buy one piece of hardware, and that could be a node. Inshallah, we'll explore that in the future. At the moment, it's that's not what we're doing. So yeah, a user can simply download the software, sign up, and as long as they meet the minimum hardware requirements, they're able to host a node. And as I mentioned previously, the node host can earn the UMN coins, so that's one of the benefits. So that's the mesh network summarized. And in the next video, I'll be talking about the blockchain, inshallah. So in this video, we will explore the UMN blockchain, which is a decentralized offline data sharing software. So something to mention is that the software can be installed on all major operating systems, inshallah, that's the plan. And this blockchain allows users to connect to the mesh network. Okay, so once installed, the hardware on which the installation occurred will begin to listen for data, specifically the router. The router will begin to listen for data and store data and broadcast. Well, actually, will listen and broadcast data. The storage will happen on the hardware, and the updating of the local ledger will happen on the software, just to be specific. So in terms of how we're going to listen and broadcast data, we're actually using the SSID, the Wi-Fi SSID. And those who are technically aware, it's a 32-character SSID, and we're going to encrypt these 32 characters, and encrypted data will basically be transmitted to other nodes, and that's how we're basically communicating with other nodes is through the Wi-Fi SSID. So you don't even have to connect to the Wi-Fi router. It's just if you go on any mobile phone and you click on Wi-Fi, you can usually see a list of Wi-Fi routers available to connect to. So if the SSID that we broadcast would be a very long 32 character random digits, and the software will pick up if this is a UmmahNet SSID or not. So we have the ability to do that using our software, and this is how we actually communicate through these encrypted messages on the SSID. So that's how it works. So we're able to do transactional data. So this is like UMN coin transactions, but there's also other data that we can transmit. It could be images, it could be MP3 files or MP4 videos. Obviously, they're much bigger in size, so there will be a specific way that we do that using the software. We're still developing that side of it, but inshallah we can achieve it, I believe, with SSID. It could be like multiple chunks, something along those lines. We're still exploring it. So this blockchain works specifically with the UmmahNet mesh network, and it does host other decentralized apps eventually. At the moment, it's just going to host a Muslim Citizen app. So the way that it would work is that if you have a mobile phone, you would download the Muslim Citizen app, but you wouldn't download it from an app store. You can probably download it just from the internet directly, and you can probably open it on a browser. So if you're using iPhone, you can open it using Safari. If you're on Android, you can open it using Chrome, etc. So it'd be like a web application, I guess. So it's a web app that you download directly from the internet, and you can open it on your phone. And if you're connected to a node, then you can access it. So that's how it would work. And one thing to mention is that a new block is mined when a new manuscript is evaluated by Burak and then approved by UKOP. So the way this blockchain works is the mining process is tied to the evaluation of manuscripts. That's a unique element of this blockchain. Other than that, I didn't want to go into too much technical detail on the blockchain and how blockchain works and everything. So that you can look into online, inshallah. There's many videos available. So on the next video, I'm going to talk about the Muslim Citizen app. In this video, we will be talking about the Muslim Citizen app, which is primarily a social media platform similar to X or Instagram. However, it is also a project management platform similar to Jira or Basecamp, and also a marketplace similar to Amazon. The app is installed onto the UMN blockchain and is only accessible via a web browser connected to a UmmahNet mesh network node. So as you can see here, this is just a demonstration. So you download the app on your phone, and then you connect via Wi-Fi to one of the UmmahNet mesh network nodes. And once you do that, you are able to access the application. So it is not available on any other app store. So this is something to note here. So actually the Muslim Citizen app is something called a DApp, which is a decentralized application. This is so related to the blockchain space, and there will be other DApps available in the future. However, this is the primary one that we're going to be using for this ecosystem. The main aim of the app is to actually organize and fund high priority Ummatic projects. And this is done by utilizing the Yuman Coin as money that can be earned and spent on the app. For example, Yuman Coins can be given directly to Ummatic projects who list tasks that need to be completed. Users then complete those tasks and earn Yuman Coins, which they can spend in the marketplace or in the real world, as previously explained. And through the social media features of the application, users also get involved in upvoting projects, so only the best and most high priority projects receive funding. I will switch over now to a different presentation available on the website. And actually, this application was originally inspired by the hadith in which we are told to take advantage of 5 before 5. Your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before you are preoccupied, and your life before your death. This was the original thinking behind this application. Of course, it's developed further since then. So I will demonstrate some of the user interface of the application. So here you can see some of the recognizable features such as like, comment, sharing, social media features. As you can see, obviously there's going to be another feature in which you can upvote a project. So that will be quite distinct here within this application. Here you can see examples of actual data stored on the blockchain that you can access via the Muslim Citizen app. So the actual data stored on the blockchain can be accessed via this application only, and this is a demonstration of that. Here you can see an example of the courses that you can complete on the application. So as discussed previously, once you complete a course, you can earn the coins. So this is one of the ways to actually earn coins on the application or within the ecosystem. You can also complete tasks. And this is another way that you can earn coins. So here's a demonstration of how that might look on the user interface. And finally, here we are encouraged to also give as part of the application. So there's a whole section within the application to give back to the Ummah or people who are in need of coins. So this is something that we have included here. There's also mention of mentoring and volunteering, but I won't go into that today. Burak we're going to cover on the next presentation, so I'll skip this for now. And yeah, that's it. So in the next video we're going to be covering Burak, so I will move on to that now. In this video we will be talking about Burak AI, which is a large language model that we are currently developing. So Burak has been trained to understand the mission of RAISSE Foundation, which is to revive Islamic civilization. And as part of its training, it has been taught what Muslims consider to be valuable knowledge. The Burak can be installed on compatible hardware and used to do two things primarily. Firstly, it can be used to evaluate manuscripts, and secondly, it can be used to provide insights specific to Vision 1453 verticals and categories that we mentioned earlier. There's also two additional things it can do. So on the Muslim Citizen app, Burak can enter agent mode and carry out various tasks such as creating content, sending messages, and recommending users to complete tasks based on their skills. And it can also be used as a chat interface. And the more that you chat with the Burak AI, the more it will grow and understand. So there is another interface that I will show you from this slide. So here you can see an example of someone chatting with Burak AI and how it can act as an agent and do actual tasks on the Muslim Citizen app. So in this particular example, Burak has decided to create a course and it has decided to create a task which can be completed. So it has this ability, and it also, in this example, it also sends a message to someone on the app. So it acts here as an agent, so it's actually able to do things on the application in addition to being a chat interface. So that's Burak in a very quick overview of Burak. So it definitely has a bird's eye view of the entire Muslim Citizen app and all the data flowing through it. And so this will be particularly useful for strategizing for the different categories and verticals. So the Vision 14.3 category leads can use Burak AI and interact with it to get additional data that they can use to further strategize for their category. And I believe in the last presentation we will be talking about UKOP. So in this final part of this presentation, I'll be talking about UKOP, which is the governance body of the UmmahNet ecosystem. So as you can see here, there's a list of things that UKOP is responsible for. And as you can see, it's mainly related to compliance and law, and also maintenance of the entire ecosystem. There's a lot more that can be said, but we're still developing UKOP. It's very early stages, this one. So inshallah, once we have more information, I can maybe publish a separate video on that entirely. And finally, I just wanted to invite everyone to join our Telegram channel. You can scan this QR code, and you can also visit our website at raise.org. for further information. So if there are any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Do like and share the video, and raise awareness about the ecosystem. And hopefully we can give you further information as it comes up. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.